Cheap and expensive, you know the difference. You know that it's hitting, you know what it's giving. Hair, nails, they spin. Bitches is washed, soap in the dishes. I pop pressure like dog and strippers. One bitch, two bitch, oh bitch, you bitch. Now yeah, bitches not gonna do shit. I'm in my can't breathe. That's my jam. Give me 1 second because something happened and I had to redo. Oh, I don't think I did this one. If I did, I'm sorry. But I don't think I did this one. While all the people were listening, Jesus said to his disciples, "Beware of the teachers of law. They like to walk around in flowering robes and love to be greeted with respect in the marketplaces and have the most important seats in the synagogues and places of honor at banquets. They devour widows' houses and for show make lengthy prayers. These men will be punished most severely." And I don't remember if I did that one or not, but since I'm talking about Candace Owens, and I probably would have used that one for a Candace Owens podcast, it's perfect because that's what she deserves. So I'm going to get into the whole thing. This is my thing. Erica told her to stop. She won't stop. She has a new reason for why she won't stop. I think she's in love with Charlie Kirk. She's mad Erica got him. She did this whirlwind wedding with this man, and that doesn't really make sense. You get engaged over the phone, you marry 7 days later, you never been on a date, you never fucking said anything romantic to each other, and all of a sudden you're married and that's it. Like, really? Like they never even had like sex. Not saying that you have to have sex before you're married, because you absolutely don't have to do that. But most people have sex before they're married because they want to see what they're getting into. They want to know, does this person suck in bed? I don't want to, be with a guy that can't do this. And the girl's like, I don't want to be with a guy if he has a micro penis, or he can't hit it right, or he can't eat it right. Things like that. So a lot of people do sleep with someone ahead of time to see if they like them enough to keep going. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Thank God I'm celibate right now, and I don't have to worry about any of those issues. Would I love and be happy to have finally have somebody? Absolutely. But there will be no sex until I know you want to be with me and you want this to go somewhere. Then we will talk about going that extra mile. I'm not saying they have to marry me, because technically I'm already married. I'm just separated. I can't afford a divorce right now, so I'm stuck married. But we're no longer together. He doesn't even live in this state. He lives in Georgia. So, but you know, if he's serious and wants to be together and whatever, then there we go. But I'm not gonna just give it up because we're at a bar drinking together and you want to have sex. No, not doing it. But in her case, I mean, there was no courting, there was nothing. They just got married. I don't know many men who would even do that. So Here, I want you to hear the trickery and the absolute insaneness that Candace is wrapped up in. And she has the nerve to drop conspiracy theories about Charlie Kirk and Erica and TPUSA.
Well, who is her boss? George Farmer. Do you know that Candace Owens' husband, who she claims is her boss, do you know that his father runs the Organization for Cooperation Between Christians and Jews in the United Kingdom? So if George Farmer is her boss, then what does that say about this entire thing? What is that all about? Do you know that Candace was introduced to her husband, George Farmer, by John Mappin, a Scientologist with a Russian wife from the United Kingdom who hosted the launch of Turning Point UK in England? Yes, Candace was introduced to her husband at Turning Point UK 7 years ago. She was introduced to him by a Scientologist with a Russian wife who's a backer of Reform UK and Turning Point UK. They got married 10 days later over FaceTime, even though they never had a romantic excursion. Do you know that George Farmer was hired by Rebecca Mercer to run Parler? Rebecca Mercer also has a Russian husband. Over at Parler, Rebecca Mercer also backed Breitbart in the very beginning. Breitbart, which produced Milo Yiannopoulos. Breitbart, which produced Ben Shapiro. Breitbart, which was born in America but conceived in Israel, with Benjamin Netanyahu at its founding meeting, with Jim Hoft, with Steve Bannon, Andrew Breitbart. Did you know all that? So if Candace Owens' boss is her husband, who is her husband? Well, the husband seems like a spook. His dad is in the House of Lords and runs some weird Jew Christian outfit. They're introduced by some weirdo billionaire who, by the way, another interesting fact about John Mappin. Do you know who John Mappin received his money from in a trust fund? Well, only the Mappin family, which is the official jeweler of the royal family. So the crown jewels of the British Empire are handled by the man that introduced Candace and her husband. And you all think that Candace is super interested in France. Why? Because it's a human interest story? You think Candace Owens is an anti-Semite now all of a sudden because she saw the light? Who the fuck are these people? None of these people are normal. Tucker Carlson's dad ran Voice of America, CIA propaganda outlet. Candace Owens' husband is the son of a British lord. They're introduced by the jeweler of the British royal crown. Her father-in-law runs Christians and Jews United in England. Actually, who the fuck are all these people? Who are these people with their foreign spouses? You know, that's actually not normal to marry someone from Europe. How many of you have wives or husbands from Europe? It's not normal. And why are all their spouses from other countries? Mercer, married to a Russian. Mappin, married to a Russian. What else do you blame them falsely for? And I have the sneaking suspicion that maybe that's part of the program. If Candace Owens' husband is her boss, well, who is her boss? George Farmer. Do you know that Candace Owens...
Oh, sorry, I let that go too long and kept it playing. But do you hear that? That is intense. That is fucking crazy weird. Okay? Crazy weird. And maybe somebody needs to be looking into her. Maybe she fucking killed Charlie Kirk. How about that? Maybe she set it all up. How about that? Let's do that conspiracy, Candace, because it looks like you have your hands in all different kinds of fucking cookie jars to me, bitch. I mean, you're talking shit about Jews, but somehow that your own fucking blood, your your father-in-law, and well, they all converse with fucking Jews, and your show is sponsored by Jews and all this other shit. Like, whoa, what the fuck? That's a lot to take in. It's a lot to take in. Candace, shut the fuck up and do us a favor. Now, here, and put up my text. Here is where I'm gonna put up Candace's own words. Here you go.
No one, and I mean absolutely no one, outside of my husband and Erica Kirk has the power to shut me up right now. That's it. I am on this journey to figure out what happened on that day. I'm not going to stop unless Erica Kirk asks me to stop, as I have said, or my father or my husband asks me to stop.
This is a duty to my husband, and it's an absolute honor.
Okay. So you heard that. She did not say it once, but she said it twice. And then here is where she's a liar again.
I find are coming out of Turning Point USA. Okay, and here are some of those lies. You know, Mikey had blood all over him. Okay, Mikey has offered that his dad was confused. I'll accept that. But I didn't lie about that. Rob McCoy lied. So this is just to me. I'm going to also let you know they pre-recorded this. Obviously, I told you this yesterday from about 11 o'clock to 4 p.m. I have sources just everywhere. CBS News, the people that were in the audience I showed you were emailing me, and they had to do multiple takes because Barry wanted to read a prompter. These questions were pre-submitted. Okay. And I would like to respond to this loaded question. What would you like to say? The podcaster Candace Owens, I'm not even going to address this repeat talking point about people making money, except for the people that have actually made off of all of the money. All of the money. Millions upon millions of dollars. But they're
Candace, what are you talking about? You're the number one podcast in the world right now. You are making money. You were not the number one podcaster in the world until Charlie Kirk died. You had a pretty decent following, but you were not a number one podcaster in the world, okay? You were. I mean, I was even listening to you then, not on her page, of course. I would listen to her through TikTok, and I kind of she lost me with the Jew talk and all that. I thought that was just ridiculous. Israel is the promised land. We are supposed to protect it. That is God's land. And they just seem to forget that hundreds of people were slaughtered by Hamas terrorists during a fucking concert that weren't asking for it and were slaughtered. And they didn't go, oh, those innocent people. No, they got mad that Israel went back and blew a bunch of shit up. That's casualties of war, my friend. You blow some shit up, innocent people are gonna die in the process. That's just how it goes. You shouldn't have fucking started the fucking war to begin with. There was no reason for it. Okay? Hamas wants to wipe out Christianity. Mostly all of those fucking sand niggers want to wipe out fucking Christianity. They don't want it. They want us to live like them in Sharia law and Mohammed and all that bullshit. No, fuck you, bye, peace, bitch. And if we have to blow some fucking shit up to get that to stop, then I'm game with it. Don't fucking play me. Okay? That's where Candace lost me. Granted, I know there has been people have hated Jews for millions and millions of years. You know, the Jews were slaves and then they killed Jesus, which is the biggest one, is that they killed Jesus. And then you had the Holocaust, and, which was also because, they had a lot of money and people didn't like them because they had a lot of money and they killed Jesus. So most people honestly hate Jews because Jews killed Jesus. But guess what? None of the Jews that exist now or even during the Holocaust had anything to do with Jesus' crucifixion. You need to get the fuck over that. Jesus has. He's forgived everybody for their sins. That's why he died. So leave it the fuck alone. You do not have to sit there and hate a whole race of people. Oh, I hate Jews. Why? What did they ever do to you? But be smart with their money. Who cares? But, oh, we don't hate Hamas. Palestinians, fuck out of here. Do you understand that those people, Afghanistan, those Arabs, those fucking sand niggers, do you understand that they all want you to fucking die? They want to kill everybody. They want America to be wiped out, and they want their way of life thrusted upon us. You're okay with that? The Jews aren't trying to do that. 9/11, that was Afghanistan. Now, why the fuck we were in Iraq, I will never know. George Bush kind of fucked that up. He did that for his own personal thing because I guess he wanted oil or whatever the Iraqis had. He wanted to storm there. There was no need to go to Iraq. He should have invaded Afghanistan, but whatever. But they ended up finding the motherfucker in a fucking hole, hiding out with 15 fucking different bitches and 30 fucking kids, and they put a bullet in him because that's what he deserved. And there are people out there masterminding just like him. They celebrate Osama bin Laden. So what the fuck? Why do we defend Hamas? Stop. Get over it. Anyway, back to what I was saying.
This is the new thing. It's like if you keep doing what you were already doing in podcasting or keep doing what you were already doing and doing ballistics on YouTube, if you catch a bunch of views, they want to convince you that like you wake up and you turn into a millionaire. Building her business. What are you talking about? I already had this business. I was already at the top of the charts. Okay.
Yeah, but you weren't number one, bitch, and you're making mad money. You went number one in 3 months. Stop playing stupid, Candace. You've gotten more money and more hits because of the Charlie Kirk bullshit.
I said I wasn't going to talk about it. I actually did because it's so ridiculous. Okay. But she says, I'm lying. And Eric responds, and her answer to what do you want to say to the podcaster Candace Owens, who is lying, is stop. So Erica would like me to stop lying. And I would like to honor that. Okay. I can only honor that if Erica is more explicit in terms of what I have lied about.
Oh, so she'll stop, but she wants Erica to tell her what she's lied about, and then she'll stop. But before she said, if Erica tells me to stop, I'll stop. But now she has to tell her specifics. Everything you have said is terrible. Just stop. Just stop. When you have evidence that has come from a cop or an FBI agent or some kind of government official or the prosecutor's office or somebody in the family of Charlie Kirk, Erica herself, somebody from Turning Point USA comes on your show and then tells you some information, some inside information, that's different. That's receivable. That's fucking okay. I got this. Like, this is what happened. He's telling me what happened. You have lied about everything. Nothing you have said has made any fucking natural sense at all whatsoever. You're a fucking grifter, bitch. That's what the fuck you are. You are money grifting off of your dead supposed best friend. You're fucking disgusting, Candace. Now she's gotta tell you what it is you've lied about. She's saying shut the fuck up in general. You heard what the fuck she said. They said, what do you want to tell the conspiracy theorists that are saying all this stuff? I want you to stop. Period. She doesn't need to go into what is this and this and this. And, oh, I want her to stop saying the Egyptian planes. No, stop. Because she means everything you're saying isn't true. And she wants you to stop. Especially the TPUSA, which is her family, and going after her. She wants you to stop it. Going after his friends. She wants you to stop it. She made it fucking clear. And you made it clear that you would stop if she asked you to. And you haven't. And now you're doubling down and saying, oh, I'll stop if she tells me what I lied about. Cunt.
What did I lie about? It's just incredible. Like there have this opportunity. The questions have been preferred. You could just start like going through them. Maybe they will. By the way, it's coming on Saturday. Maybe I've made a mistake somewhere, and I'm happy. I want to correct that. Right? I'm not interested. My goal is not to tell lies. It is obviously plausible that I have made mistakes. I've reviewed these lists that we've put together, and I can't find the lie. Okay, the lies that I find are coming out of Turning Point USA. Okay, and here are some of those lies. Mikey.
She is absolutely, completely fucking just ridiculous. And I cannot stand her any fucking more. I literally just can't. And where's the one I'm gonna show you? Here we go. We're gonna start with her first because she makes some good points.
Charlie loved you, Candace, like a sister, but he was in love with Erica. Go and cope. You guys, Candace is not grieving. She is deceiving. She's hiding behind the assassination of Charlie Kirk and just using it to provide cover for her narcissistic rage. And we're all witnessing a real life narcissistic injury that is finally let loose. She can't even contain it anymore. Is anyone going to ask? Has anybody even thought about this? But do you think Charlie would approve of this behavior? Like if she was doing this to somebody else, let's just say for a moment in a perfect world that her and Ben Shapiro was still cool, right? And let's say, God forbid, something happened to Ben. Ben is married, Ben has kids. And she was doing the same thing she is doing to Ben Shapiro, and she be doing it to Daily Wire and Ben Shapiro. Do you think Charlie would approve of this? And if you believe that he would, it is obvious that you didn't know a thing about Charlie Kirk.
Now, I put up the email because I want to hear what you think. And don't be afraid to email it. I check it all the time. All the views I've gotten, I'm surprised I haven't gotten an email yet. But I want you to email, and I'll put the email up back and forth throughout the show. But I want you to email and tell me what you think. And I would love to have you on the show for a couple of minutes to talk about what you think, and we could go back and forth at it. You can also find me on YouTube, which is that Candace Ronan YouTube. You can also find me on Facebook. That is my Facebook name. And you can also find me on TikTok. And you know, whatever. So those are your 3 things. I'll put everything back up at the end of the show. But what is this one? Okay. So anyway, here's another one from her. Oops.
I'm sorry, Candace is trash. Fight me. Her husband, George, at this point, I'm calling him Will Smith, and Charlie is Candace's Tupac. She will never let him go. She is out here like Jada Pinkett, crying over Tupac with a whole husband, and I am just so disgusted by this. This stunt exposes exactly what many of us have been saying for a long time. Candace does not operate out of principle. She operates out of insecurity, insane jealousy, and the need to dominate every room that she walks into at the expense of others. It's one thing to be a boss chick and to be the baddest broad on top. I get that. But you don't do it at the expense of others, especially the ones that you claim that you love. I don't know how you can't see this, but her goal is to trash Charlie's legacy, not build it up, not carry it on, not to promote anything positive that he represents. But whether she likes it or not, Erica and those babies, they are Charlie's legacy. Deal with it.
And she's 100% right. I feel like she's mad that she didn't get Charlie. I feel like she thinks she should be the CEO of Turning Point. I think she wants to replace Erica, and you can't. She's mad that Erica's getting the publicity that she's getting. She's just mad. She's mad she wasn't invited to speak at the memorial. You know, she's mad. And that's why she's acting out the way she's acting out. Like, she's talking about, oh, what lies have I told, Candace? What lies? The lie that you said nobody gave Charlie Kirk first aid when he was shot. And I can tell you, so hold on.
Let's keep rolling. She has accused us of lying about Charlie wanting Erica to take
First aid
All right, I'm
immediately.
gonna pull it up.
Charlie
Here
was
we go.
never rendered any first aid immediately. I know the security team. I know that one of them is supposed to administer first aid immediately. We don't see that happening. I've seen everything from different angles. When he's down on the ground, they don't put any gauze on him. They don't even put a hand where the wound is to try to stop the bleeding. In fact, when they pick him up, he is flopping all the way to the car. His neck is not even being held in a manner like they're trying to stop the wound from opening up. And something that really struck me as what is going on is the fact that he was never even put on the ground after he fell from the chair. Okay. I'm going to explain this to you. Now, you know, I have the back footage, I have the side footage. And what you can see is that the first thing that happens is the security guard actually grabs Charlie. So Charlie doesn't actually fall from the chair. The security guard lifts him and guides him onto the ground. Charlie was
Didn't she just say he didn't go on the ground? Okay, so she says that, right?
never rendered any.
The immediate response. Let's get back to that. Could you tell it was gunfire?
Yes.
How could you tell?
And so I've got my back to Charlie about, I don't know, less than 10 meters off to his right. And my area of responsibility, just we had a lot of people coming up some staircases there, and it was starting to fill in. And so I was watching that, and the gunfire. And then I don't know if you've heard this, but I heard that bullet slap him. And so so you hear two sounds actually. And so you hear the actual shot, and then you hear the bullet hit him in the neck, like you hear it. And so in my head, I had an attribution to that. Oh, I know what that is. And so Dan, Charlie, and then
Who's Dan?
Dan was the guy standing right next to Charlie when he got shot on the stage.
Okay.
And so he grabs him, and then I turn and see him start to the ground. But then I'm just thinking gunfire. And then he's leading to the ground because I'm on his right, where he was shot right here in the left of his neck. And so I initially dove down on top of him and just was on him almost face to face. And then when I was doing that, I went down, I could see the wound. And so I immediately shoved my hand into the wound to stop the bleeding, just trying to find the pressure. And it was coming out still. And I'm on top of him, like close. And it was still coming out enough that it squirted through my fingers, and I could taste it on my lips. I remember pulling back away and thinking, damn, this is bad. It's coming out. And I don't remember saying this, but the guys told me, and you can kind of see it on the video. I said, prep the car. And I just prepped, and you see the two guys just take off. And so we got up, I think it was like 15, 16 seconds from the time the shot happened to the time we were picking him up. Realities.
So again, she's a fucking liar. And I believe I played that before, not to that extent, but I believe I played that before. And maybe that's one of the things that Erica Kirk wants you to stop talking about and lying about, is you saying that his security team didn't render him first aid. I think him tasting Charlie's blood in his mouth was rendering him first aid, because if he wasn't, why would that have ever happened? He stuck his fingers inside his neck, and I guarantee you he didn't put gloves on. He didn't have any gloves on. He probably stuck his hand in his wound, and normally you would never do that because diseases and all kinds of stuff, you don't know what anybody has. You don't even know what he has. He could have had something and, given it to Charlie from plugging up, whatever the case may be. You always use gloves. But because the situation was so dire and everything happened so fast, he said fuck it and he plugged him up with his fucking hands. Now in the interview more, because I watched the whole thing, he does say they put like 30 some yards of fucking I mean, it was like a ridiculous amount of gauze that they shoved in the wound. So they did do that. And I was like, oh, Candace, you fucking liar. As soon as I heard that, I was like, you're a dirty, dirty bitch. You straight up fucking lied about that. And you know what? That's disgusting. There should be no fucking reason for you to lie like that at all whatsoever.
Thing I've ever seen, and I don't think Candace Owens is smart.
Okay, now here's Nick Fuentes. I like him, but I don't at the same time, because some of the stuff he says, I'm like, but like the stuff he says about women and some of the stuff he says about black people, I think it's fucking hilarious. And some of it I find pretty true. But the anti-Semitism stuff, I'm not into that. Even though I think he claims he's not an anti-Semite, but kind of seems that way. But he does admit that he's racist, and that's about it. So it is what it is. But I'm gonna be putting him on my show more. I just gotta find more shows that he's done, because not too many of them are on TikTok. So I'd have to go to like YouTube, and that's a little harder to do because it's not quick things that I can show you guys in a couple of minutes. I'd have to show you like a long podcast and edit it. It's just nuts. So
I'm not going to pander. I'm not going to pretend any of that is legitimate. It's not. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And I don't think Candace Owens is smart. People say she's smart. I think she's dumb. I think she's a good talker, but I think she's dumb as they come. I think she doesn't know shit about anything. She doesn't know the first thing about history. She doesn't know the first thing about politics. She can barely pronounce half the words on her show if she didn't have a producer in her ear. I think she's a terrible conspiracy theorist, and I think her show is for women. I think her show is like daytime television for MAGA moms whose brains have been fried by QAnon and the collapse of credibility of the mainstream media. That's what I think about it. And I think it's disturbing, and I think it's scary, and I think it's an IQ filter. I think if you're falling for it, you're low IQ. And I think it's a sad state of affairs how many people are being filtered by this. And I'm not going to pander to them. That's not my target audience. My target demographic is not people that are totally insane. I'm watching her show today. She says everybody in the audience is wearing a maroon t-shirt. What are we doing at this point? What are we doing here? You want to bring me a real conspiracy theory? Bring me a real conspiracy theory with evidence. There's a lot of them out there. October 7th, we have the evidence. They talk about 40 beheaded babies. We know the anatomy of exactly how that lie was created in real time. We know all about how the Israeli Defense Forces were killing people that were fleeing. We know all about how for years Israeli intelligence knew Hamas was planning something. That's a conspiracy that has evidence. That's a conspiracy that has legs. It has motive. It has culprit. It has clear evidence, factual. That's a real conspiracy. But this is psychosis. There's not a coherent theory at all. It apparently involves everybody. Ask these psychopaths who they think is to blame and what the motive is. They can't tell you. They say every Turning Point is in on it. Erica is in on it. Trump and Kash Patel and JD Vance and Emmanuel Macron and the government of France and Israel and Egypt are all they're all in on it. Thousands of people in 4 different governments got together and said, we're going to shoot Charlie Kirk. We're going to blame it on some 20-year-old kid. We're going to get him to turn himself in. For some reason, he went along with this. And for what purpose exactly? They didn't assassinate a head of state. They didn't assassinate a billionaire, an oligarch. I won't do it.
Now, doesn't that make fucking sense? You can hate Nick Fuentes all you want. Oh, he's a racist. Oh, this and that. But he makes fucking sense. The whole thing is fucking hogwash. And she's trying to act like, oh, I'm not making money off of this. Oh, I'm not. My show is the #1 podcast because, I've done so much and this and that. All you've done for 3 months is talk about Charlie Kirk, and every day you have a new receipt. Tune in tomorrow because I have the receipts for this, and tune in. Oh, wait till you hear the new information that I got here. Tune in here. But I mean, come on, what the fuck? I mean, now you're even accusing Tim Pool. Like, seriously, Candace? Shut the fuck up. And I would like anybody to email how you feel about Candace. And if you want to come on the show and battle it out or talk about it, I am 100% game for it. You can definitely do it. Or you can go to my YouTube and do the same thing there. As far as my Facebook and stuff, I don't need you guys doing that on my Facebook page or my TikTok page. But YouTube and my Kirk is right email, 100%. So here is the other thing that was said.
Didn't email or call me to ask about times. What's weird about that? Didn't you say on your show, on your own show, name the time, name the place, we don't need to plan it, we don't need lawyers, just say it? And so they go on Twitter and say, well, this is when we're doing the live stream and you're welcome to join us. And she goes, kind of weird. Not weird. No, it's kind of weird. I'm sorry, what's weird about that? You think they're going to send you an email after you accuse them of killing their boss? And you said yourself you're not going to go through lawyers. So how exactly did you want it? Did you want it carried by a messenger pigeon? She goes, why am I finding out about this on X? This is really weird. Why didn't you call me? Call you? You're telling them that they killed their boss. You think they're going to say, hey, Candace, hi, hope you're doing well. So we're thinking of doing this live stream defending ourselves from the allegation that we're working with France and Israel to kill our own boss and friend, that you're telling millions of people with no evidence. Well, when did you want to do that? What works for, how do you think that's going to go? She goes, why am I learning about it on X? Then she says, you chose to tweet this confirmation out at midnight. Again, okay, so what? When were they supposed to tweet it out? During business hours? You're only supposed to respond to these things during business hours. It's the 21st century. Like, people are up at midnight. We're on social media. You're up at midnight. I mean, what are you talking about? Isn't it weird that they posted it on Twitter and at midnight? No, not really. What, is that part of the French connection too? It's like with the text messages on Discord. El Reeve is pressing her saying, how do you know the text messages are fake? And she goes, they don't have any timestamps. Okay, so? El Reeve said, do you have any evidence they're fake? She goes, no. Okay. Then she goes and says, it doesn't work in person. Okay, why not? Like, genuinely, what excuse do you have? Anyway, we'll get into that in a minute. Suffice to say, she says, I can't make it in person, but let's do a stream. So Blake responds. He says, yesterday we made it clear that we would be scheduling a formal response to the allegations and accusations you have made. We've decided that response will be delivered during a live stream on December 15th. Thank you for your response, letting us know you will not be joining the in-person conversation. We will proceed without you. She replies, it has been decided by the public that the best response for this is for my team to live stream your live stream and provide commentary.
Now, that is total fucking bullshit, and that pisses me off because you're gonna do commentary on with their live stream while you're streaming your show. So they'll answer whatever, and then you're gonna come back and say, well, what about this or what about this? And they can't respond to that because they can't hear what the fuck you're saying. And you're going to sit there and say, well, why did this happen? Why did that? And why did, like, bitch, no. You're better off not even doing the fucking thing at all because you providing commentary instead of actually having a verbal conversation with them shows that you're a fucking liar. And shows that you have no proper evidence for what it is you're saying. If everybody didn't believe you were a liar before, when this happened, now they should believe it. Because I know if I'm not lying and that's my best friend and you're going to hold this torch, Charlie was my best friend, I would have been at Turning Point USA so fucking fast and been like, you killed my fucking friend, you piece of shit. Yes, you did, and I have the proof right here. Why wouldn't you do that? You're going to provide commentary? So they're going to say, oh no, well, this happened and this is why the planes from Egypt were here and there. And you're going to go, oh yeah, that's right. Well, then why were they over there? Then why were they here? Then why were they following Erica? Well, they can't answer you because you're not there and you're live streaming their live stream. Maybe there was just planes flying around. Planes do that. Maybe people had money and chose to get in the plane and fly around. I don't fucking know. But I know a plane had nothing to do with Charlie Kirk getting shot. So that's why I'm waiting for this whole thing to come out. I'm actually going to watch the Charlie Kirk show. I have it in my thing. I'm going to watch the Charlie Kirk show and I'm going to see what they say. And then I don't know how I don't want to stream her shit. I really don't. Because that's putting money in her pocket and I really don't want to do that. And honestly, I think you have to pay for her. Like you have to pay to see her anyway. So I might have to wait like a day or something